Hari Om. Let us begin with a Shanti mantra. Om Om Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. आत्मा कः स्थूल सूक्ष्म कारण शरीराद्व्यतिरिक्तः पंचकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रय साक्षी सच्चिदानंद स्वरूपः सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा. We are speaking on Ātmā kaha. What is Ātmā? What is self? The text, the Shastra, the Guru has clearly said that Ātmā is not something, somewhere, somebody. It is you. It is me. Ātmā is me. It also says that Ātmā is that which is always the same, which is the substratum and which is the truth. So is the text and the Guru trying to tell me that this person is all this? Let us investigate in the statement that Ātmā Satyam Tadanyat Sarvam Mithyeti. What does this word Ātmā is Satyam absolutely means? At the moment, we are identified by the body, the mind, and the intellect. Why would I say that? It is because when somebody asks me, so, who are you? The first instinctive answer that comes is the name given to this body. The introduction is, oh, I am Jagdish. I am 5 feet 2 inches. I am X kilo weight. My skin is a fair complexion. My hair are silver. You see, everything that I have said till now is everything of the body. That's why we are identified by the body. Body becomes our first recognition. We are identified so much that even if somebody from far away calls the name Jagdish, immediately the head turns as though it could be me only. This is called identification with the body. We also said that identification with the body and the mind. How? How are we identified with the mind? When someone asks me, so, who's your father? I instantly connect it with my feelings. My father, Shri Singh Bramta. It is a direct connect of my mind. Mentally, I am convinced that I am the child of my father. In other examples, I always think that I know this and I know that and I don't know that. But when we focus what and who is knowing this and not that, it is the mind. Plus, whatever the mind knows from our childhood, are you sure everything you remember till date? And are you sure you are going to remember it till the last day of your life? No. We all know this, that whatever we have learned, gained knowledge, it is remaining in the memory for a particular period of time. And eventually, we lose most of the memory. Therefore, our identification with the particular time of the memory, that I know Sanskrit, oh, but I don't know Deutsch very well. This identification with the mind, what the mind knows and what the mind doesn't know, is as though superimposed on me. Just like the body's height, weight, color, skin, texture, all these are superimposed on me. In the same way, the mind's memories and knowing or not knowing is superimposed on us. This is how we are identified with the mind. In the same way, when you speak of intellect, it is the decision-making power. It is that power which gives the mind the direction in which the body has to be moved. For example, for an army man, for a military person, if you ask that person, are you not worried? You are standing in the front line with the gun where bullets are passing left and right. Are you not worried that you might get a bullet and you may die? The army man is so intellectually identified with the idea of nation's safety and the freedom of its people that he responds, how does it matter whether my body is there or not? What matters is my nation. In this way, we are identified with the intellect, the ideas that the intellect holds. For a scientist, it would not matter whether he drinks coffee or he drinks tea. For him, it becomes very important that what the work that he is pursuing is important. For an artist who has gone beyond thirst and hunger to complete his masterpiece, he is identified so much with the idea. This identification, which leaves the body behind, which leaves the mind behind, and completely engrosses itself in a particular idea, an ideal, that is superimposed on us, the self. This is how we get identified with an idea or intellectual identification. So we have just spoken about the three, the body, the mind and the intellect identification. What happens with this identification? What it does, it limits the self, which is unlimited, which is infinite. How? Let me explain. With the body, we can only do limited things. My hand can do only so much. But with the mind, I can reach further, very far. We know, as they say, sky is the limit. With the intellect, it goes even beyond because it's an idea. An idea can take shape of any kind. This is limited to my body, the physical. The next level is limited to the mind. And the next level is limited to the idea. When my body is unable to do something, I immediately put the blame on me, saying, I am a failure, I can't do it. When the mind reaches a climax and it cannot further think, we immediately say, my mind fails me. And when there are no ideas in the mind, the poet says, alas, my brain, my mind has completely lost all its intellectual capacity. In this way, the body is limited, the mind is limited, and the intellect is limited. And these limitations of these three upadhis, upadhi is a word of Sanskrit which means that which transfers its property and qualities on something else. Upa, close, adhi, before. It puts its properties and qualities on something else. These are the three limitations, upadhis, which put their own limitations, own qualities on the self. Therefore, they are limitations. In the same text, Tattva Bodh, the physical body, it is called as the Sthula Sharira or as the gross body. The Shastra says that it has got 6 variations. It says, Asti Jayate Vardate Viparanyamate Apakshiyate Vinashyati. These are 6 stages that the body goes through. First, it comes into being, the conception stage. Then it is born. After the birth, it grows a little into youth. From youth, it becomes a mature person. From maturity, slowly it becomes older person. From old age, it becomes diseased, the body. And finally, it perishes. The word used for these three bodies, which is called Sthula Sharira, the gross body, Sukshma Sharira, the subtle body, which consists of the mind and intellect, and the Karana Sharira. Karana Sharira means causal body, the cause for the Sthula and the Sukshma Sharira. The word used for it is called Sharira. The root shru means that which is perishable, that which is destructible, got a birth and a death, which begins and has an end. That which begins and has an end is called Sharira, body. Therefore, first, by direct information and also by indication in the word itself, the Shastra is telling us that the body, whether it is Sthula, Sukshma or Karana, they are still Sharira, that which will be destroyed, which will end. Naturally, in the same way, like the body goes from being to not being or dying, we see our body slowly growing older, becoming stronger and moving away. Whether the body is fat or whether the body is thin, whether the body is tall or whether the body is short, whether the body is able or the body is disabled, you, the self, is always conscious of it. You are not the fat body or the thin body, the tall body or the short body, the abled body or the disabled body, because the feeling behind, the consciousness behind, the awareness behind any of this type is the same. The same body which was so energetic and childlike when it was small, when it became grown up, it became such a sober, decent, quiet person. And when it is close to old age and death, how the same body becomes dilated. The body changes, but not you. You remain the same inside. You can ask this to any of your friends. You can ask this to any of your elder generation, to your grandfather, to your grandmother, to your neighbors who are elder, that how do they feel inside? They will say, oh, age is just a number. Why? Why do they say that? Is their body not deteriorating? Are they not feeling the strain of the body becoming old? Yes, they do. But in the mind, they feel the same. Because the mind is closely associated. That's why it is called subtle body. The physical body is called gross body. But the mind and intellect is called the subtle body. Why it is called the subtle body? Is because of this. Because the mind and intellect is closer associated to the self. So the energy of the self is felt in the mind much more than the body, the physical body. However, when you further think about it, we discussed this. Do we remember everything and anything that we had heard before, that we had learned before, that we had by-hearted before or we had understood before? No. Even something that you had understood so very well, when not used, that knowledge goes away. It becomes lesser and lesser and lesser and goes away. This is a clear indication that the mind itself is not you, because it is not permanent, it doesn't remain the same. The mind and intellect work the same way. This is the subtle body. What about the causal body? What is causal body? Karana Sharira. The causal body is the cause for the subtle body and the gross body. How? How is it like that? Is because the causal body is the seat of all the experiences, all the activities that we have done in the past. In the past, not only in this life, but thousands of lives that we have lived. Thousands of lives, not only as human beings, but also as different kind of beings. All the impressions of all these life experiences are stored in the causal body. And then that causal body, according to the requirement of this life, this particular mind, intellect, and the body, it sends in the ideas, thoughts, and actions. This is why everything that the mind and intellect does and think, everything that the body acts and reacts, is completely based upon the causal body. When the question was put, Ātmā kaha? The answer was given that you are something different other than the gross body, the subtle body, as well as the causal body. And it said that you are beyond the 5 coverings. We will come to the coverings very shortly. And it also said that you are the witness of the 3 states of awareness. What are the 3 states of awareness? To understand exactly what Karana Sharira, causal body, is, we have to come to the state of awareness. So we have to speak of the 5 sheaths and the 3 states of awareness. Yet, of course, the time is short, but the detailed explanation takes longer. Therefore, we will move into our next session with further explanation of this. My only request to every single person who listens to these talks is that do not listen to these talks in isolation. These talks are all linked with the previous talks and the talks which are coming. When you put them together and listen, it will make more sense than just isolating one video and understanding. The reason I'm saying this is because of past experience. If you need to understand who you truly are, the experience of that true self can only come once you have understood crystally that what else you are not. This is not said by me, this is said by the Shastra itself. The Gurus have said this, that first clearly understand, let there be no ambiguity in your mind that what you are not. Once that is clear, what you are will automatically appear in front. With these few words, today I take a Madhya Viram. And with this feeling in my heart and with a prayer to Lord that we meet soon with the same intensity that we have met from so many days. Let us end with a Shanti mantra. Kindly join me. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.